Friday opener against the Jets, which John McMullen, will Jalen Hurts take a rep in?
No.
Not one.
No, not
none.
one.
Zero.
No.
Zilch.
That would be he didn't last year, so why would he this year? Last year he was completely unproven. I mean, completely unproven. And he started 4 games at the end of his rookie year after Carson Wentz went off the rails. He didn't perform that well. You know, he completed 52.5% of his passes. We're all saying, you know, guy needs some reps, and they were treating him like an entrenched starter.
Appreciate you streaming in with us here on a Football Friday on Birds 365. Since it is a Friday, you know we are just 1 week away from the first preseason game. A tradition unlike any other.
Yeah.
The Jets and Eagles' first game of the year. No. They're supposed to play the last game. They screwed it up this year. Anyway, Jets, Eagles, first preseason game will be 1 week from today. And Johnny Mack will be there all week in practice as the Eagles get ready. A couple of Eagle things before I do ask you about where the NFL and Deshaun Watson are headed. Jaquiski Tart, again, sticking to facts. Not opinions here, just facts. Oh, we'll give you opinions too, but start with the facts. He was actually taking third-team safety reps yesterday, much like the Miles Sanders taking the second-team running back reps. Just facts, Miles. Sorry about that. Jaquiski Tart down to third team, being replaced by a cornerback, no less. John McMullen, give us the details, and what do you think it means?
I think it means the Eagles want to keep both Josiah Scott and Kerry Vincent Jr. And to do that, they're probably going to have to figure out if one of them can play safety. So I think that's what they're trying to do with Josiah Scott. And yeah, I don't think it's a good sign for Jaquiski Tart. You know, because the Eagles have made this big sort of I wouldn't say big, but they explained, you know, he got here late, which is true. Different terminology. Remember, he's played a lot of football on a good defense in San Francisco. So the terminology part is real and all that. But again, I go back to last year with Steve Nelson, 2 days before camp, first practice, starting corner opposite Darius Slay. Now, part of it is because they didn't have any other options. You know, they talked up Zach McPherson, but a rookie 4th-round pick at corner in the NFL, good luck with that. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. But I did think Zach would probably start in camp as the number, and they'd slowly work Steve Nelson in. Nope. Day one. So they're not adverse to putting somebody out there, and certainly not in practice. So I do think it says something about Tart. He's a Band-Aid. He's an insurance policy. And if one of these young players jumps up and wins that job, we were talking about it, you know, could Anthony Harris or Tart be cut if Kayvon Wallace, you know, won the starting job, which isn't going to happen. But, and I said, it's a possibility. Well, now everybody's starting to realize there's no guarantee at all Jaquiski Tart is going to be on this team. Marcus Epps is going to be on this team. Anthony Harris is going to be on this team. Other than that, at safety, you know, it might be Satcher because of the special teams ability. It might be Kayvon Wallace because of the pedigree and the draft pick and all that. It might be Tart because he starts to catch on and they feel more comfortable with him. Or it might be Josiah Scott. So it's that backup safety position is getting a little bit more interesting.
You've certainly put Harris ahead of Tart in the pecking order as of right now. They got very similar contracts, as a matter of fact. I remember a little bit of a lag, about a week before we found out exactly what Jaquiski Tart's contract was. And oh, by the way, I'll apologize to him ahead of time. I've been known to botch names. Every once in a while I say Alex Bohm on the air. and man, do I get crushed. I know it's Alec. I just said Alex. I apologize. And it looks like Jaquiski Tart to me, but Johnny Mac tells me it's Jaquiski Tart. So I'll apologize to him in advance if I butcher his name from time to time. I'll try not to. But he might get butchered as in cut. From the Eagles, as Johnny Mac is saying, has Anthony Harris been that much better than him just because he's been part of the system for a year? They basically comped the two up when they gave him almost identical contracts this offseason. Harris got his a lot sooner than Tart did, but what makes you say that Tart right now is as close to the cutting room floor as he is to actually getting meaningful reps for the Eagles as compared to Harris, who you're saying is probably in the starting lineup?
Well, I mean, Harris has taken every first team rep when he's healthy. He was ramping up from COVID. They had Kayvon Wallace when he wasn't in team drills, but every day when he's been in team drills, he's taken every single first team rep. So, and the other guys on the third team. So, I mean, that obviously has a history of Jonathan Gannon as well. He's been here longer. He was once a very good player. I think people forget that. He was actually at the height of his career. He was actually the better player when measured against Jaquiski Tart, former NFL interception leader. He once got the franchise tag. He's in the Pro Bowl. He was a good player. Now, he's not that player now, but the Eagles trust him. And look, it was a surprise to me that they picked Anthony Harris over Rodney McLeod. I thought Rodney's history in Philadelphia's importance to the community would give him the advantage. No, they like Anthony Harris. And the fact that they got him at a cheap price tag is a little bit better. But, yeah, I mean, when you see one guy take every single first team rep and the other guy's getting knocked from the second team to the third team for a backup slot corner, that's a concern for me. Now, that probably is more of, all right, we want to see Scott. We want to see what Scott can do in this particular position. But, I mean, if you're Jaquiski Tart, you should say, oh, this might be a little bit tougher than I thought when I was coming in here.
He got his work cut out for him just to make the Eagle roster. And, oh, by the way, and I forget who it is, I apologize. We have our streamers who comment on the show day in and day out, and they do a nice job. They converse with each other more than they converse with us, which is perfectly fine because you and I are going to bat it back and forth more than anything else. We had one streamer who didn't like the fact that I was surprised by the fact that they signed Jaquiski Tart and said he was the best Eagles safety by far. When they signed Tart, he became the best Eagles safety. And neither you nor I agreed with that because we knew how much the Eagles had warmed to Marcus Epps as their number one safety. But
I'm not going to get my apology. I don't know. I never get apologies, Jody.
Keep checking on this. I apologize. I should have written it down or mentally noted it because he wasn't happy with us that we weren't given Jaquiski.
Hey, maybe the Eagles are misevaluating everything, but right now he is, as of yesterday, he is fifth on the depth chart at safety. And
the thing for me was, for the amount of money that he got paid by the Eagles, he was the starter for San Francisco, and they had gone to the championship game 2 out of the last 3 years, and they weren't even willing to come up with what the Eagles put on the table, which wasn't a whole hell of a lot. That tells me San Francisco had moved on from him, and a very good defense said, no, we need to be improved here and we need to be better than Mr. Tart. That wasn't a good sign. And so far in camp, it hasn't been shown to be anything but that, but we shall see. Still a lot of time left in camp before we get to the Friday opener against the Jets, which John McMullen, will Jalen Hurts take a rep in?
No.
Not one.
No. Not
none.
One.
Zero.
No.
Zilch.
That would be he didn't last year, so why would he this year? Last year he was completely unproven. I mean, completely unproven. he started 4 games at the end of his rookie year after Carson Wentz went off the rails. He didn't perform that well. He completed 52.5% of his passes. We're all saying, guy needs some reps, and they were treating him like an entrenched starter. Last year, all right, he proved he's a good quarterback. He proved he's a good player. Pro Bowl alternate, took the team to the playoffs. So if they didn't play him last year, why the heck would they play him this year? That's my thought process on that. I guess Jalen Hurts could go in and lobby and say, I want to play a series. I guess that could happen. But I mean, if they didn't play him last year, why are they going to play him this year?
All right. So I kind of agree with you, by the way. Will any guys that we believe should be the Eagles starters week 1 in Detroit, 37 days from now, will any of them will they play at all? Or will all 11 guys, and do you need me to run through them all? If you do, I could tell you.
No,
I think I and all of our streamers know exactly the 11 that I'm talking about. Maybe there's one debate. For me, there really isn't. Will any of them be in the lineup week 1 against the Jets when the preseason gets underway next week?
Some guys got to play. A lot depends on injuries, like the receivers. If all the receivers, if Pascal's out, if Smith is out, if you're not going to play AJ, obviously, you're not going to consider, maybe Quez has to play. Just from
is Quez the one?
Yeah.
Is he the only one who actually gets into the game?
Maybe. And again, that would be more dependent on how many bodies they have. I think it's how many bodies they have at the particular time is the bigger issue. At certain points, somebody's going to have to play in the preseason.
All right. I guess we're going to have to go through this one by one. A.J. Brown, is he playing?
No.
Devontae Smith, is he playing?
No.
Dallas Goedert, is he playing?
No.
Are any of the 5 starting offensive linemen, and yes, I'm putting at right guard Isaac Seumalo?
No, because they wouldn't want to mess with Isaac's health, even if maybe Landon because he's a young player, but I don't think they want to mess with that either. His health.
0 for 5 on the offensive line. Miles.
No.
And Jalen.
They have no running backs, though. Somebody's got to. You're going to see a lot of Kennedy Brooks and Jason
Kennedy Brooks is getting at least double-digit carries against the Jets.
Yeah,
double digits.
Jason Huntley's chance to shine. Kennedy Brooks' chance to sign. Yeah, you're not going to see Miles. Jordan Davis, you might see on the. I mean, he's a rookie. You might throw him out there,
right? But the one offensive player that we're agreeing may actually get a chance to play, probably starting and getting the hell off the field, is Quez. Other than that, 10 out of 11 will not see the field week 1 against the Jets in preseason.
That would be my guess, unless the Eagles completely shift their philosophy. Man, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, I mean, they're not going to play those guys. Yeah.
Now, will they treat defense the same way? I'll give you a flip side guy. Edwards has played phenomenally in camp so far. Johnny Mac's favorite player, most underrated player on the Philadelphia Eagles, has looked great all camp long. Does he not get in the game? Do they protect him week 1?
Oh, that's a good one. He's that guy that might take a series. And a lot of it might be just to test out, different things like communication and things like that. I could see him playing a series, but not much more than that. Just for more logistical matters than anything else, because he's going to be the green dot most likely.
Is he going to get it?
Well, it's interesting. That's another one. I meant to bring that up with Martin. So 3 players have sort of called the defensive signals in camp. TJ, when TJ's off, Kaiser White, number 2, and then N'Kobe with the second.
So it's been a linebacker no matter what.
Yeah. So I think they're leaning towards TJ, but again, that depends on pass coverage. can he hold up? That's always been the knock against him. He's been tremendous at it in camp. He's very instinctive. But we know how the NFL reacts. So, yeah, he's an interesting one. I could see him playing a series just to test some things out.
And if you tell me it's definitely going to be a linebacker that's going to be wearing the dots, usually it's a linebacker and or a safety. You and I have both been on the Marcus Epps bandwagon since basically last season ended, and correctly predicted he's going to be a starting safety for the Eagles. I know the season hasn't started yet, but we're looking ahead, and he has been running with the first team all preseason long, all the practice that they had. So I think that's a given now that he's going to start. I would have been surprised if he was able to make that big a leap from a backup position into the guy who wears the green dot. Do you think that is still potentially in the mix if they don't go linebacker because they're going to be moving linebackers in and out? And I know Nakobe Dean hasn't earned his reps yet. Davion Taylor has flashed more in camp than he has, but the Eagles will probably rotate a bunch of guys at linebacker. I think Edwards is going to be on the field 90% of the time, but maybe not 100. Safety, you can get somebody who's out there basically every single snap. Does that give Marcus Epps any chance to be the guy with the dot on his helmet?
I mean, I would lean towards Anthony Harris more than Marcus, but I don't think the Eagles are going to go that route with safety. And I don't think it's as important as people make it out to be. You're just relaying signals, but Anthony's in charge sort of that defensive backfield, getting everybody lined up anyway. So I would think he would be, and he's going to be an every down player as well, barring injury. So, as a veteran, he would be ahead, but I do think they're going to go with one of the linebackers. And to me, it comes down to TJ or Kaiser. That's who it's going to be. Kaiser is going to be out there 100% of the time because of pass coverage ability. And they take TJ off occasionally. Maybe they lean towards Kaiser. But when they're on the field together and they take first team reps together, TJ's doing it. So it's something to watch.
Sounds like he's the leader in the clubhouse. All right, Johnny Mac, former New Jersey Attorney General Peter C. Harvey is going to decide the fate of one Deshaun Jackson.
What a great state! What a well-run state. Who better to do it?
Exactly.
I live here, so I can rip.
I'm a happy Jersey resident. Yeah. I'll actually tell you that I'm surprised. I maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe shame on me. I thought that Roger Goodell was just going to come out with the announcement and that was going to be it.
Now he wants no part of it, Jody. He wants no part of it. He wants his name out of it.
He instead is putting a designee in position to make that decision. I think we all know that this individual has worked with the NFL before, been on NFL committees and the like. He's going to come out damn close to exactly what Roger Goodell and the owners want as far as the punishment goes to Deshaun Watson. Does this beard-like naming of the former Attorney General of New Jersey do anything for saving Roger Goodell any critique for?
No, absolutely not. In fact, they think of him more as hiding behind the figurehead. So it makes him look worse. This league, I've told you this a bunch of times, when it comes to personal conduct, is a freaking disaster. They have this mentality that they can control the court of public opinion. You can't. The NFL's got to get to that default setting. I got an email from a lawyer yesterday when the NFL did this. Take a look at this angle. They're pitching, Jody. Sue Robinson had been a federal judge for 25 years. She's a woman, obviously.
There's always a boy named Sue, but if she is a woman, I'll take your word for it.
She is a woman. and she made her decision in a sexual misconduct case with allegations. And they say that's not good enough. And they appoint, as you mentioned, the former Attorney General of New Jersey to, and this is the email, this is not me, to mansplain a sexual misconduct allegations that a 25-year-old, 25-year experienced judge already made a decision on. That's a woman. That, you get my point, Jody. You can't control these people. They're trying to control these people. They had this system set up. This is what I was saying on the show. They had this system set up to just lean on it and say, you know what? We don't agree with it, but this is the independent system, and they could have used it, Jody. They were right there. Then you take the week, you take the 10 days of hits, and it all goes away, and everything can move forward. But they can't do it. They can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves. And here they are again, and they're in this situation. And hey, it's been this way for years. It is an absolute cluster, you know what, when it comes to personal conduct in this league.
Here's my two quick takes, and then we got I see Mikey Miss in the green room. Looking forward to talking to him next. Number one, if you don't think 6 games was enough, and you're the commissioner and you're listening to your owners, you have to use the hammer that you got. You built in having the hammer if you believe that Judge Robinson, for whatever reasons, no matter what her or his or anybody else's gender is, if you think that the punishment is too light, you have to react, which is what Roger Goodell did. And yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Passing the buck is weak. Just come out and get it done, Raj. If you're gonna big time Sue Robinson, then be a man and step up and go, yeah, we're deciding to put someone else in place that he's already got a relationship with that's gonna take that was weak. But I don't disagree that the punishment should have been more. I'm mansplaining here if I have to. I just think he deserved more than 6 games. So if I'm Roger Goodell
that's fine.
The owners, then I got to do what I got to do.
By the way, I'm not giving credence to that push. My only point is you can't control all these machinations, Jody. So the league, has to ignore it. Just like I said with Jalen Reagor, ignore the social media, drop the damn phone, forget about it, and just move forward. And that is the easiest way to handle these types of things.
Coming up next, one of the co-hosts on the Eagles post-game show on the JAKIB YouTube channel this year. You know him, you love him. Mike Missinelli is going to join us next here on Birds 365.